careful with labels. You go to a business, it's not open. When you look online, it say open. They posted this morning that they was gonna be there. They posted last night that they was gonna be there, and they weren't there. So a couple of tips that I want you to take away as business owners and leaders in your business is that there really does matter. If you are meeting a prospective client, especially out in the field and somewhere that you're not familiar with, you should probably time yourself to see how long it's going to take you to get to your destination. With things like Google Maps, Apple Maps, it will give you just a general idea of how long it's going to take you to get there. I know in Memphis we like to say that we are 15 minutes from everything. That is not true. You know, you leave your house 15, 20 minutes, and you stay out here and you got to go to Arlington. Okay? Thank you so much. I'm still out there, right? So, as y'all know by now, I'm a realtor. I sell everywhere that we offer in the home. I actively try to go after very high selling realtors, right? I got an appointment with a young lady who is a very successful realtor, and her clients were meeting me out in Oakland. I have sold in this neighborhood before, okay? But new construction is notorious for the GPS addresses not doing what they need to do, because the house technically is not in existence because we are building, right? So I'm like, we ended up meeting in the middle of the street, adjacent to the community. And I don't know about y'all, when you are nervous, 20 minutes trying to figure out where you're going, and it's a really long time with people in a little caravan of cars behind you. So that was the lesson that I learned from my book. Try to drive your route.
interview outfit is part of that. Before choosing an interview outfit, research the company to determine how formal the workplace is.
And this is for you not need to research your client, because this is practice research, and they graduate from the same high school.
Explaining how the upcoming interview would like to know the appropriate dress code. It's also a good idea to consider the role in industry. If you're interviewing for a corporate position in finance or law, for example, wear formal business attire. For men, this means a matching suit and tie. For women, it means what's the best outfit? It's also a good idea to consider the role in industry. If you're interviewing for a corporate position in finance or law, for example, wear formal business attire. For men, this means a matching suit and tie. For women, it means a tailored dress, pantsuit, or skirt suit. However, for less formal positions in workplaces, business casual is usually the best option. If you find out everyone is wearing a suit, you should too. If everyone is wearing jeans and flip-flops, press one notch above that. Here are some definitions that might help you decide what you should wear. In a business professional atmosphere, suits are the norm. Women might wear a skirt or pantsuit with heels, while men may wear a blazer or suit jacket, button-down shirt, suit pants, a tie, and dress shoes. Forget the suit when interviewing at a business casual company. Men might consider wearing a long-sleeve dress shirt, khaki pants and a belt, and dress shoes. Women might consider wearing a conservative dress, or a blouse or sweater with a skirt or dress pants, and dress shoes or boots. When interviewing at a casual office, it's still important to look polished and professional. Men might opt for a dress slacks or chinos, a button-down or polo shirt, a belt, and dress shoes. Women might wear a collared shirt, pants, or a pencil skirt, or a work dress. After you find out which environment you'll be interviewing in, pay attention to the details. Make sure you always look polished. Don't show up in wrinkled, stained, ripped, or ill-fitting clothing. Comb your hair and check to make sure none of this morning's spinach egg bites are still in your teeth. Consider keeping a small grooming kit with you for any last-minute touch-ups you may need. As for grooming, your hair should be neatly styled, nails clipped and clean, and makeup minimal and conservative. Once you shower, shave, and apply deodorant, avoid the urge to bathe yourself in cologne or perfume. You want to be remembered for
Amen.
your skills.
I can't stand that.
Make a mistake choosing fashion or practicality when deciding what to wear to an interview. When you're physically uneasy, it's difficult to project the best image and concentrate on the questions you're being asked. If you're constantly squirming because your waistband is too snug, your interviewer will be sure to notice. Clothing you actually like. Remember, when you feel good, you exude an air of confidence and ease. Many people express themselves through their accessories, but a job interview is not a style contest. When discussing your career with an interviewer, it's best to let your skills and work experience do the talking. You can't afford to let a wacky tie or plain bracelets distract from your message. When thinking about how to accessorize, select a simple conservative tie and belt.
I just want to say something. This is something excellent to think about when you're getting in front of that target audience that you've never met before. That first impression is all you have with them.
I think Rob had mentioned earlier, I think he mentioned that a lot of billionaires and stuff that you meet are a little more casual in their dress, right? A lot of times when you see people, especially more famous people, they may have designer clothes or they might have something a little more casual, so it might be, a little bit dress down. But do believe when they go into certain situations, they're gonna be, suit tie or whatever. So I completely agree with what you're saying. this. I ain't like how you said that to me, or whatever, right? So the exercise for you is, this. I want you to write a short email response to what I'm gonna say. Your client comes to you and they say, hey, I didn't like what you did for me. I didn't like the service you provided for me. You didn't do what I told you to do. It's now a week after, they have closed, or they've eaten their cake, or they've, done whatever. They got their website built, it's a whole week later. You ran blogs, that you did everything that you're supposed to do. But they don't like it. And they cussing at you and acting a fool. How do you respond to them saying that they don't like what you just delivered? Go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, you guys need it?
I'm sorry to hear the topic of experience.
That's good. I like that you make it.
Well, I'm sorry, I apologize that, you had a problem, miscommunication, discommunication, how can correct it or address it, make it right with you?
That's actually good. When you are in sales, people teach you indicators, right? And then you know, sales whatever. They teach you indicators. If somebody is doing like this, no, I don't want to do that, no, I don't want to do this. You go along with the pattern of thought that they're saying. So if they're saying no, your next question needs to be like, oh, okay, well, I'm so sorry that happened. Was there anything that I could have done different? Typically, they're going to continue with that pattern. So what you do is use the current pattern that you're on in order to kind of change it around. What you got? Go ahead.
I apologize on behalf of whatever company it is. These actions do not reflect our core values. If you want to make things right, how can you do it?
No, I love that. But what if you did everything you were supposed to do? You actually stayed up all night doing what you were supposed to do. So you know it was not right. You know it was in line with their program. You got to answer that.
Okay, I can
Go ahead.
it wasn't my, so I would like, basically get all the way more into intention. So like, my intentions were not to, come across this way or whatever happened down in the situation. But, my intentions were to, I said, I'm really
No, that's actually really good. That's very good. I can tell that you've done it before. I think a lot of, go ahead.
I was some question up, okay. 1 second. I'm that person. Greetings. I'm so sorry for your experience. We appreciate you reaching out and providing this feedback. We would like to guarantee proper service. We would like to provide you with a gift card or provide another service at no cost to you. That's great.
I'll take that. I love that.
I ain't giving you no refund though.
Money already.
But here's my question.
Sure.
Because some people do that, knowing that some people are, very soft-hearted, and you've poured into this business, baby, right? So you want to make sure that your baby grows up and is successful.
Right.
Some people don't care about taking care from your baby, right? So how do you handle people? That's something I want you to think about. How do you handle people who go into the situation knowing that you did everything that you were supposed to do? They just want to get you off your rocker so that either they can, report you, give you a bad Facebook review. They want to just say, oh, I ain't like her, because really they friend don't like you, or whatever. They want to get you off your rocker. So I want you to think of it. You got a question?
So I had like a personal, well, it wasn't a personal scenario, but outside of, I work for like a health with businesses, right? So I always tell them to like have an SOP, right? So she had a customer, she has a boutique, and this specific time she was selling her fragrance, right? So her was she had samples. You know how you go smell perfume? They have the samples for us. This particular time, she did not come. Her husband came. Her husband came, and you know how, no offense to the fellas anymore, but you know how men are. It's just like, okay, the bottle look good, so she gonna like that. He was won over by the bottle, but he failed to smell it. So the wife, when she got the perfume, she copied on that. It was like, yeah, I know, this smell like, I like the smell. So basically, because the individuals had been spending money with her, she was like, my policy is, my policy basically. You have the option to sample it, your husband didn't smell it, so pretty much trying to take something back from you is gonna be hard for me to sell it. And so we was like, okay, so did you get supposed to do perfume? She was like, yeah, because I didn't want to tarnish my name. I said there was a first problem.
I agree.
Because she don't want to tell that friend, well, you don't like it, she don't, if you tell her you don't like it, she don't want you to keep both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you got just a whole fiasco. So one of the things that I encourage the ladies to do is, let your policies be your policies. I know that this is a person that spends money with you, but because they feel as if, because they feel like they doing you a favor, not having each other a favor, because you both being satisfied. And if I let you do something, then it's gonna just be a triple effect. But that's why one thing I just want to share, like sometimes we can do, like you were saying, we can do everything right. If I know I do everything right, I know I stay. That's why I tell them they building their websites out and they're putting it, like you make sure, like anything, because they will try you. Make sure those policies are in place. So if you know that you did, because in corporate America they teach us the customer is always right. No, the customer can very well be wrong. And so that was what I was saying, like that was my whole point to her. Like I know that you did what you were supposed to do. They knew the policy. It ain't like they didn't know the policy. Her husband, he neglected to smell it. So,
Or maybe he didn't know that he liked it. He just thought, when she didn't like it, oh, I didn't know you didn't like it. So this is what I would say to you all as business. You have to defend your business, baby. You are business professionals. And even though you may have a sweet temperament, business is business, right? And you can't be in business being a fluffy marshmallow. I am the biggest, fluffiest, marshmallowiest person ever. I cry about everything. I almost cried having to speak up here. But you have to grow teeth for your business. You got to, like, look, it's a lot of women in here. Y'all got to be mama bears. Gentlemen, y'all have to defend your territory. Y'all can't let nobody come in and take something from you. This is how you're going to grow. This is how you feed your family. So if you're not going to defend it, who's going to defend it? Nobody's going to come with you on a random Tuesday to somebody that's throwing a temper tantrum to defend your house.
She said pretty much everything I was going to say, but to add to that, make sure your policies are something you can uphold. Don't oversell yourself, but when you fail to deliver, it goes back to your reason.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And that goes back to what Dr. Jones and Robert was about. Like, you have to be able to understand your business from the ground up. It is imperative that you plan for your business. Rob mentioned, he was talking about motivation. I'm going to tell y'all this and I'm going to move forward. When I started in real estate, my first year, I actually made more as a 14, I was 14 working at Taco Bell, and I did my first whole year of real estate. Working 50 hours a week, making 40 to 60 phone calls a day. You have to have the determination within yourself to know I am going to be successful. And within 2 years, I grew my real estate business to over 6 figures. So it's about you. You have to enforce your policy. You got to know that you're going to do X, Y, and Z. So, y'all, that's good enough. Any questions about this time?
that you posed earlier. When you say defend your business, what are some other outcomes that maybe we can, say or respond to as business owners that would defend the business but also still provide excellence in customer service?
I would say, the first one is to not ask yes or no questions, right? Because it's always gonna be the negative pattern. A phrase that I learned, is tell me more. Tell me why you feel like that. Okay, they're like, well, you said it was gonna be blue, but it's light blue. Okay, well, how do we get to this understanding? And then ask qualifying, questions. Did you submit a picture to me? Let's look at the picture. Let's compare the color scheme. I took pictures of before and after. Or in my instance, it's a house. Okay, you don't like the color of this house. That's okay, baby. I have another one. You don't even have to do this. It's fine. It's fine. So I think if you come from a place of it's gonna be fine and you are calm, even when they're acting a fool in front of a lot of people, they will calm down. And it's hard to stay on 10 with somebody that's like, yeah, I understand. How you doing? Okay. You want something to drink? Like, it's hard to stay on 10 with somebody that's asking you, tell me why you feel like this. I hear you. Explain to me why you're upset. So don't meet them with that same fire. Meet them with a coolness. And again, you are professional in your business. So you need to be professional. What you got? Come on, everybody.
Well, no, because we deal with both sides of that and food. We done had people like you show up late, and I remember one time Robert got there and he found one that I don't want my food no more. You late, I ain't gonna have time to eat and all this. So buyers had to do some training. And he like, oh, he wanna get on 10 to her. I'm like, no, you don't do that. But my thing to her was, that's fine, because the same food that she didn't want, someone on the backside was trying to buy the food. You know what I'm saying? So dealing with the, in that case, and this several times that little stuff like that she tried to pull when we started coming in. So I made the statement to her that, hey, thank you, but I prefer not to even have, if it's gonna cause some kind of conflict with everyone else, I just prefer you to just, go get your lunch somewhere else. Because I don't need my X amount of people influenced by what you think or what your attitude is. So we had to approach her on that issue. Also had a girl, and it's amazing at the people that you, but me, I could smile at you all day long, cursing me out. That's totally, and I tell you, that's totally your opinion. People wonder why I smile all the time. I might want to cut your throat, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll talk about you later. But I know how to carry, and it's called maturity. Once you get maturity, you grow into that. It's not something that you actually gonna learn overnight. So with that being said, we had a girl that every day she orders lunch, but this particular day, she had some hair in her fish. I don't even fry fish. But I was like, anyway, I was like, she ain't had no hair no fish. I don't doubt that. Easily hair can get in your food. I mean, like, serious business. It's food. Hair flies, you might miss it in the food. So she called, I can't eat this, Miss Bobby. I said, okay, no problem. Would you like for me to either cook you some more, or would you like your money back? Well, I just can't eat this. And Okay, so my lunch is about to be over. I said, okay, no problem. But need I say, she had other food. So the first thing I said again, she didn't give it back. You know, but my thing was to her is, what I'm gonna do is just cash out your money back. You know, and she said, well,
Can I say something? I ain't gonna cut you off, but you gonna have to make a policy about that. If that's something that's happening in your business, like you mentioned, make a policy and enforce it. It's not, we have this saying, right? Have y'all heard the saying, don't burn the bridge? Right. Burn it up. If that person is causing you distress in your business, burn the bridge up.
but she turned around. She turned around, and now she after all that, she back. Everybody else kept ordering like, oh well, that's your stuff, but this, you know. But she turned around, and just last week, she started back calling. And I was telling her, I was like, oh, guess who called and placed the order? So she been ordering like everything. But I believe, like you say, it wasn't I guess me opting out to her. It was just the fact that, hey, we talking about a $7 or $8 decision. You know what I'm saying? That you could cause $100 worth of hate. I'd rather give you your $8 back.
Right.
We keep the peace. We still good. Is there anything else I can do than to, you know? And a lot of times, just like her, you still win them over.
You do.
Well, look, because you can go to McDonald's, you can go to Burger King, anywhere. You gonna get some cold food. Your fries ain't. I do it all the time, but they still buy. They still keep going back. They still keep going back.
That's something that, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's something that I have been trying to get people to understand. Like, when it comes to us, I don't like to use the word small business, but that's what they call it, okay? When it comes to an up and coming business owner, y'all chew us out so quick and cut us off by one little incident, but you still go to Walmart. You still go there to, even though you told you they're gonna cut you off with one thing, you still keep, you don't have another place to go get life. You still go to these big corporations that have, first of all, don't have no type of relationship with you, because you don't even know who owns Walmart. Let's make that perfectly clear. But I'm building a relationship with you, and just because you got, now you said that we put the hair in the food, but just because out of all, I'm just saying, you've been ordering for me for a whole year. You've been ordering for me for a whole year. But just because this one particular day, you got this piece of hair in your food, now you got to turn my whole business down. You got to make a whole Facebook post. You got to go back because out of all the place you got, this particular day, you said you found a piece of hair in your food. Like, I don't like it. Like, when it comes to upcoming businesses, like, and you know, I always try to go to the person first. Like, hey, this is what the situation was. Now, I ain't gonna blast you, but if somebody asks me to refer you, I'm gonna say I can refer you elsewhere. I won't even mention my experience with the person because just because that was my experience does not mean that that's how they operate all the time. If I come, because I'm not gonna just give you up in one time. But if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, you don't have conversation, you know what? You're not my referral list. I don't even think about your way again. That's just how it was out there. I ain't gonna bash you, but I don't like, I tell people all the time, like, let's give the same grace to small businesses that y'all do to Walmart and all them other places.
Right.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to add, just something about the policies. One thing that we do is we have a contract. Because we work with artists, we are the artists and create payments. And in those situations, you can't really like change the work once it's made. So having like checkpoints, hey, this is what we're doing, keeping the client updated so they know. So I'm not going through an entire 2 months worth of project and then I get to said, this is great, this is great, this is great, amen. So I'm not about to go back and that's not right, and you agree to everything that we did. And then one thing that I have implemented at my in-home daycare is I have a system where I keep the parents updated with everything they're doing, their playtime, their diaper changes. So you can't say that your child went home with a dirty diaper and now you're blaming me and want to sue me. You know, shake the thing.
Let me ask you a question. How did you create your contract?
The contract, I followed a template, but then I did what I changed it to benefit.
Where you get your template from?
I don't remember.
So I actually recommend places like this, but Legal Zoom actually has pretty decent template.
What did you say?
Legal Zoom? Oh, Legal Zoom. Now take a little grain of salt, you all don't have to edit them and tweak them to your specific business, but if you don't have anywhere else to go, it's a great start.
And then another one is AI.
Oh, yeah. With ChatGPT now, let me tell you.
You just put
If
the
y'all-
words in there, it'll write for you.
Yeah, AI.
It won't show you a lot of AI.
It's
I feel like I went over a little bit, but, y'all actually also talked about, my next slide, which is avoid gossip. I don't really have to get into that. Just be mindful. When you talk about people in your business that work around you, that are your colleagues, you talk about your client like a dog, you on Facebook talking about how this person was related and all that, please don't do it. Their place very easy to wrong with you. And then this is one that I don't see a lot. People do not acknowledge their team, okay? When you get to the finish line, you secure your client, you close the deal, you make the sale. Acknowledge